Welcome back to WTV8 News. Levick Arena was packed with orange-clad students on Thursday, making their way down from Minnesota, where the Augies from Augsburg ranked number 2 in the country to square off against the top-ranked Knights. Kenny Anderson starts things off the right way for the Knights at 125 pounds. He scores the takedown on his way to an 8-3 decision. After a rare Tommy Maroka loss, Cody Silvestri puts the Knights back ahead with an 8-4 decision. Drew Wagenhofer started his match off in dominating fashion, but sustained an injury late in the first. He was unable to overcome the bum ankle and ended up getting pinned. Cameron Wagner would go down as well at 157, and the Knights trailed 13-6 heading into Landon Williams' all-important match. The fourth-ranked Williams didn't disappoint, recording the 3 points for a near fall here and putting the win down in dominating fashion. He scores the 9-0 major decision to put the momentum back with the Knights. In the next match, Brad Banks shows his cat-like reflexes, scoring the takedown, and suddenly Wartburg is cruising with another major decision from Banks. The major decision keeps on flowing with Dylan Azinger winning 16-7. Wartburg leads the overall match 18-13 and can put it out of reach with just one victory, and they don't have to wait long as that man, Byron Tate, does what he does best. He dominates the fourth-ranked wrestler in the country and nearly misses the technical fall. Tate did win 18-4 and in the process wrap up what turned out to be a 22-17 victory for the Knights. The Orange and Black have now won the past 3 meetings against Augsburg, including the NWCA National Dual Championship on January 8th. The Knights will look to extend their conference winning streak this Wednesday against Loris. The Wartburg track and field team hosted the Wartburg Select Meet this past weekend and invited some stiff competition. But before the action started, all the athletes took a lap to commemorate those who are fighting cancer. In the action, the women were able to pull out the win at the 60-meter hurdles and the pentathlon, the 400-meter run, long jump, shot put, and the 4x400 relay. The men won 5 events, including the long jump and the triple jump, along with the 800, 1,000, and 3,000-meter runs. The women's team came in first, while the men's team came in second. The Knights will be back in action next weekend in a split team effort. Some tracksters will head to UW-Platteville, while others will head to Iowa State. The women's basketball team was also in action this past weekend as the Knights headed down to do battle with the lowly Cornell Rams on Wednesday night. In this matchup, it was Leslie Wilson going hard into the paint, finding Carly Jacobs for the bucket. Then it's Stephanie Ryder who drains the 3-ball, extending the Knights' lead. Maddie Sadecki misses the 3-pointer here, but Emily Timmermans is there for the rebound, and she puts it back up for the deuce. With the shot clock running down, Abby Weideman makes the 3 here from the corner as the buzzer sounds. And Ryder makes another 3 before the break. Knights up 36-15 at halftime. It was the same story, different team in the second half as Ricky Mulroy gets past the Wartburg D and draws the foul on the way. Then it's Chelsea Harris who pulls up and makes the 3-pointer. And boom goes the dynamite. Terry Dirks responds with their second tray of the half. And again, it's Mulroy who gets the 3, putting Cornell within 8 points. But luckily, the Knights were able to hold on and win this one 69-63. Junior Abby Weideman had a big night for the Knights as she went for 16 points on the evening. Senior Leslie Wilson was very productive as well, going for 8 points and 8 boards. The women are now tied for first atop the conference with Simpson at 9-3. The men were also victorious in that doubleheader in Cornell by a score of 52-39. Both teams will return to action on Wednesday at Dubuque for a pair of showdowns with the Spartans. Tip-off time for that doubleheader is set for 6 p.m. Welcome back to WTV8 News. The Wartburg football team was looking to stay undefeated in Iowa Conference play, but standing in their way were the Spartans from Dubuque. On Wartburg's first possession, Brandon Nesquick Sims takes it to the house from 4 yards out, and Wartburg takes the 7-0 lead early. Next Wartburg possession, it's Nesquick again, this time from 70 yards out, and see you later. Sims separates himself from the defense, and nobody can keep up with him in the open field. Knights would miss the extra point. 13-0 still in the first. Dubuque would respond later in the first. Quarterback Matthew Levine would find the tight end Mitch Hookstead over the middle, and the big boy would barely get across the line, getting the Spartans back into the game, 13-7. In the second quarter now, Reese Thompson, the bruiser back from Van Horn, bangs his way in from 3 yards out, making the score 20-7. Then the Spartans try to swing the momentum in a big way as Levine is able to hit his big receiving target to make us Fleming down the field for 39 yards. Spartans hanging around before the half. But when it came down to it, the Spartans couldn't keep the Knights out of the end zone. Quarterback Dan Stiefel finds his favorite receiving target, Levi Helbling, on the post route for a 30-yard touchdown, and the Knights wouldn't look back from there. Wartburg would roll in the second half, crushing the Spartans 55-17. Brandon Sims had a big day, going for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dan Stiefel also had a huge day throwing the football as he goes for nearly 400 yards and 5 touchdowns in a career day. The women's cross-country team was competing at the Jim Drews Tori Neubauer Invitational, hosted by UW La Crosse on Saturday, and what a weekend it turned out to be. The women's cross-country team took 4th in the 23-team field. Senior Emily Eimers was the top team finisher as she took 2nd with her time of 22:20. Sammy Druitt was the next top finisher with her time of 23:20, and Haiti Voller was behind her at 23:24. Erin Sawyers was next across the line for the Knights, and Serena Gotzel was right behind her at 24:02. The Knights returned to action at the Iowa Conference Championships on October 29th. And last but not least tonight, it's the women's soccer team was in action this past week. The Knights were looking to recover from their first loss of the season when the opponent, the Olies of St. Olaf, made their way down from Minnesota. And this one, the Olies got an early goal, putting them in the driver's seat early. Annie Aquino tries to even it up here, but she goes wide as she drives it in from deep. Near the end of the first, same score when Katie Wynn is able to break away from the defense and buries it in the upper 90. Olies and Knights are tied at the half. Just 2 minutes into the second, Wartburg wins a corner. Aquino wafts it up after the scrum in front of the net. Who else would find it but the senior? Chelsea Fry buries it with the right foot, her 10th of the season, and that would prove to be the game winner. Wartburg gets back on the winning track as they win this one by a final of 2-1. The Knights' record is still one of the best in the country as the Orange and Black move to 10-1-1 on the season.